Welcome everyone. Hope you all are doing fine. Now, let us start. The first novel we have, Mother of Learning, is a story about a teenage mage, Zorian, who is stuck in a time loop after being killed on the eve of a festival. He must unravel the mystery and survive in a world of magic filled with dangers. The reviewer gave it a rating of 88. On to the next novel we have. A former demon lord who lost to a group of heroes is reborn into the past and vows to live a kind life. This is the story of his journey. The reviewer gave it a rating of 84. On to the next novel we have. The story follows Sue Ran, a transmigrated music prodigy who becomes a villainous female supporting character in a book. She takes over the original owner's pitiful life in poverty and gains an instant son who will turn into a twisted, evil villain in 10 years. Sue Ran tries to persuade her son to not become too outstanding to avoid being killed, but he wants to go into business to support her. Sue Ran also offers to teach him music to become a zen, little fairy boy who only needs to drink dew. The book has already completed its main story arc, and the son's appearance as a villain will be in one of the extra chapters where he picks on the male and female leads' children. On to the next novel we have. The title of the book is Reincarnation Paradise, and the reader gave it a rating of 92. The story follows a young man named Su Xiao who seeks revenge for his family's death. As he is dying, he is given the opportunity to be reincarnated and becomes a hunter. He travels through different worlds, including One Piece, Tokyo Ghoul, Naruto, and more, completing dangerous missions and leveling up. On to the next novel we have. Lu Wu, a video game developer who discovers he is a direct descendant of a king from the underworld, creates a battle game server with the help of a mysterious friend and transports gamers from the real world to the underworld using virtual reality. With the help of these gamers, Lu Wu attempts to reclaim his inherited territory. On to the next novel we have. The story follows Fendril, who suddenly finds himself in the middle of a forest after being hit on the head and losing consciousness. He soon realizes that he has been integrated into a popular game called Conqueror, and is excited about it. He selects his species and prepares to embark on his adventure. The story is rated 80. On to the next novel we have. The novel is about Su Chen, who is transported to a fantasy world and gains a boasting system that rewards him when others boast about him. He quickly becomes the strongest person in the realm, and his talent reaches the ultimate level, with even the supreme immortal emperor recognizing his power. However, Su Chen attributes his strength to the exaggerated boasting of others. On to the next novel we have. The novel titled A Degenerate's Tale is about a man named Earl who lived recklessly and died with a smile on his face, only to awaken in a magical world as an infant. With his charms and wit, he plans to thrive in this world and pursue elves, demons, princesses, and queens. The novel is a side project and includes mature content, so it is recommended for a mature audience. The rating for the novel is 86. On to the next novel we have. The article is about a game where the player takes on the role of a wandering mercenary, battling monsters and searching for legends. The author rates the game 86 and suggests that the journey will continue until they escape the game. On to the next novel we have. The title of the story is Past Life Returner, and the overall rating is 88. The story follows a character who goes back to February 28, 1985, their birth date, and decides to seize all the money and dungeons in the world while it is still peaceful. All stats will be reset. On to the next novel we have. The novel, Reborn at Boot Camp. General, Don't Mess Around, follows the story of a newly rebirthed Yi Jian who aims to rise above others and seek revenge on those who have harmed her in the past. Despite her initial reluctance, she becomes an outstanding military soldier and catches the eye of a young general who tries to pursue a romantic relationship with her. The book portrays a strong military couple and their struggles as they compete with each other. On to the next novel we have. The show, Little Tyrant doesn't want to meet with a bad end, has a rating of 80 and follows a character named Roel Askert who realizes he is in a video game and is the greatest villain in the common route. He fears being killed by the main character and 4 capture targets, but a voice introduces him to the House Resurgence system. On to the next novel, we have. Title: Life, Once Again. Rating: 86. Description: the narrator reflects on the idea of going back in time and experiencing life again. They realize that just thinking about it is enough to transport them to the past. The phrase, "one more time," represents the desire to relive life experiences. On to the next novel, we have. Ending Maker is a story about two heroes, Kong Jin-ho and Hong Yu-hee, who become reincarnated as characters in a video game. They realize that the game's ending results in the destruction of the human world, so they team up to achieve a perfect happy ending. The story introduces the concept of rotten water, which means someone who has played a game for a long time and mastered everything. On to the next novel, we have. Fey Evolution Merchant is a story about a new era where humans can absorb the world's awakened spirit chi and animals and plants are evolving. Lin Yuan starts a pet store on the Star Web where he assists Feys in evolving and purifying their bloodlines. The story revolves around pets and has a rating of 82. On to the next novel, we have. The story is about a man named Kim Soo-yun who has lost everything and possesses a powerful tool known as the Zero Code. He wishes to go back in time by 10 years to when he first came to Hall Plain. The reviewer gave it a rating of 78. The title of the story is Memorize. On to the next novel, we have. The story is about Lin and Fan, a mortal who wants to live a peaceful life but is surrounded by supernatural occurrences. His adopted dog becomes a demon king, a tree he plants becomes a world tree, and he meets a passerby who becomes an immortal sage. It turns out that people around him are actually influential figures in the immortal realm. My rating is 78. On to the next novel, we have. The novel, Fire Mage, follows a former underworld assassin named John Browning who attends his friend's wedding only to be betrayed and beaten by his former colleagues. He dies and wakes up in the body of an 18-year-old boy in a world filled with magic and mystic powers. On to the next novel, we have. The title is Monarch of Time, and the rating given is 78. It is about a character named Rock who receives immense power after a rock merges with him and he gains knowledge about controlling time. He travels through the world of cultivation, battling geniuses and mastering martial arts and alchemy. On to the next novel, we have. Spirit Immortal is a story about a world where humans have been using spirits for over 1 million years. The Furry clan, once a great clan, was weakened by a devastating battle and decides to adopt young orphans in order to rebuild their numbers. The story follows one such orphan, Shin, as he faces challenges within the clan. The reviewer gave it a rating of 78. On to the next novel, we have. The story follows Anon, an elite NPC with a player's system in a new world called the Land of Dense Fog. Although he enjoys creating chaos, Anon is ultimately a kind player who is on a mission to eradicate evil NPCs. The rating for this story is 82. On to the next novel, we have. The article is about a terminally ill person who finds solace in a fantasy RPG game called Inner Lunatic. The game is known for its extreme difficulty and the person diagnosed with a terminal illness has made the game his entire life and has now become his reality. He now has to survive in the game as a villain called Nox von Reinharber and reach the end of the story safely. The article is rated 78. On to the next novel, we have. The article discusses how humans only reveal 5% of their DNA and how that determines a person's identity and qualities. It compares this to having 100 cards of random traits and only being able to use 5 of them, which can be either advantageous or disadvantageous. The article highlights the story of a boy who used his cards to build a music empire. The article has a rating of 78. On to the next novel, we have. Sabina finds herself in a new and dangerous world where she is sent to be the concubine of the old emperor. However, on their wedding night, the emperor is murdered by his own son and the new heir. Bina makes a deal with a dangerous woman named Lucretius to survive in this dangerous kingdom. The story is titled Empress of Otherverse and has been rated 82. On to the next novel, we have. The story is about a cosplayer named Liu Mang who travels back in time to the Eastern Han Dynasty while wearing an Ares gold cloth from Saint Seiya. He accidentally saves Liu Bu and becomes his son-in-law, which changes the history of the Three Kingdoms period. Liu Mang realizes that a world belonging to Liu is coming, as generals and soldiers are sporting aluminum-casted gold cloths and mechanical crossbows. The title of the story is My Father-in-Law is Liu Bu, and the rating is 78. On to the next novel, we have. The story is about Liam, a reincarnated person in an intergalactic empire with advanced technology. He aims to become an evil lord in this society that values morality and nobility. Despite his intentions, he is worshipped as a virtuous ruler. The story explores whether Liam can successfully become an evil lord in a world that values virtue. That's the end of this video. I will see you soon in the next video. Happy reading.